the certification that we have now, the Visa certification, which you definitely would see when you see a new debit card, says you have access to your money, accessibility at all times. So you can use any other ATM other than the Lesotho Postbank to get money. You are able to go anywhere in the world and you can actually swipe. You know, you can use that on a point of sale in any devices.
Unlock the power in your pockets with the new debit card from Lesotho Postbank. Convenience made possible. Hello, fellow trailblazer. Welcome to My Money Adventures podcast, your go-to show for all things finance, business, and retirement conversations in Lesotho and Southern Africa. I am TK Ntebe, your trusted voice in personal finance and financial well-being. If today's episode is anything to go by, we are talking everything convenience, innovation, and of course, creative solutions that will simplify how you transact and go about your day-to-day lives. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any more time, I have in studio a guest from Lesotho Postbank, who's also today's episode sponsor. And we're going to talk everything about the new debit card and how it's going to change the lives of the ordinary Mosotho in 2025. In studio today, I have a dear friend of mine, colleague, and of course, a representative from Lesotho Postbank. Good morning, BK. How are you?
I'm super fine. Thank you so much, TK.
You're super fine. I am allowed to call you BK, but for the ordinary trailblazers, let's start with introductions. Who are you and what do you do at Lesotho Postbank?
Okay, I am Bokang Mareka, otherwise Mrs. Machumza. What do I do at Lesotho Postbank? I do everything.
I was waiting for that.
I do everything that I'm asked to do. But currently, I think having had an opportunity to do the strategy, having had an opportunity to be in the corporate affairs office, and gradually moved through the ranks, I was tasked at some point with the responsibility for retail and the supervision of the chief sales. So we looked at all the branches and all the customers in general. Then later, I think I moved more into the people. This is where I am. I am part of the family at Lesotho Postbank within the space of people and culture.
People and culture.
Yeah, otherwise HR.
HR, human capital.
Human capital.
Yes.
So that's where I am right now. That is my major responsibility. Over and above all that has been given. But I'm also responsible currently. We have what we call EMV, where we are working towards a certification of Visa or the Visa accreditation, whatever you may call it. So in that project, I am a stream lead for change management and communication. That's why I am here.
It's interesting. And I think in the last conversation that we had off camera a few weeks ago, you mentioned that you studied accounting, right?
Yes.
So as an accountant who's now working in human capital, if you were to describe your relationship with money, how would you describe that?
Well, I look at money as a friend, but as a friend that you would have to nurture the relationship with. Very sensitive type of a friend. The one who is available to take you from point A to point B. But you would have to be careful how you relate, that you better look after that relationship than destroy it. So money as a friend can work against you and can work for you, depending on the position and the understanding of how you deal with it. So that's what it is.
So money is your friend.
But at the same time, money makes life go around.
Money makes the world go around.
And money makes dreams come true.
Oh, absolutely love it. So it's been a journey for Lesotho Postbank. Let's maybe start with a bit of the history. I mean, it was founded and incorporated in 2005.
Right.
And 20 years later, in 2025, this bank has been growing from strength to strength. Where did it all begin for people who don't appreciate the history of Lesotho Postbank?
Okay. Wow. Very rich history it is. So Lesotho Postbank, first of all, it's totally or wholly owned by the government of Lesotho. So if you want, you could describe Lesotho Postbank as a financial arm. Yeah, mmuso wa Lesotho, if you allow me to do that. So in that, ka hare ho the National Strategic Development Plan of the government of Lesotho, then Lesotho Postbank, it's there to advance the objectives, the goals of the shareholder, in that what it is that the government of Lesotho wants to do financially, or how do they want to drive the financial element or factors relating to their objectives. So this is where Lesotho Postbank would then come in. Now, whatever it is that we do as Lesotho Postbank, as a state-owned entity, means we are there to channel the desires. We are there to make sure that whatever they want to do as a government, we enable it. For example, many times we would hear that people don't have access to finance. Then Lesotho Postbank is there. The issues of financial education or financial literacy, as we would call it, then you would find Lesotho Postbank in that space. The issues of access to finance, I don't know if I mentioned that, then we are there. The issues of financial inclusion in general, then you have Lesotho Postbank in as far as the government of Lesotho is concerned, playing in that particular space. So in general, that's what Lesotho Postbank is.
Sure. And it has been, when you talk about the mandate, particularly for the financial inclusion, the underbanked and unbanked, right? You do see Lesotho Postbank really pioneering that space, which is exciting to see, right? So for me, as Lesotho Postbank has been evolving, 2014 was a very transformative year. 2005 it started, and it's been growing from pillar to strength. And 2014 was a big year. What happened in 2014 from a Lesotho Postbank perspective?
Okay, so as we from the inception of Lesotho Postbank, so to say, we then moved Rele Banka ya Bonkgono, as it was known. We had what we call the passbook. That was the only thing that we had, and then we were majorly known to have savings products. So re tloha mo re neng re le khonanyana mane ya even not to Postbank boholo bana. And I remember my mom used to love the bank so much, and I didn't understand when I was not even local, and I would say, Jale, how do I get money to you? And she says, Postbank. Okay, how do we transact? Then that was probably a little bit of an issue. But moving from that time to where you're asking me now, you would realize historically, if you look at our annual financial statements, you would note that we did not make money. Remember, even though we are the financial arm of the bank, we needed to have what you call wealth creation, right? You maximize the wealth or for your shareholder. So he puts in the investment for which he expects to see results, benefits, yield. But that did not happen until around 2014. So this is where we started seeing a bigger growth in Lesotho Postbank, increasing the branches arona, diversify the product arona. Not only are we now savings, but bringing in things such as loans. We could now extend loans to our customers. We could now offer different other variety depending on their needs, and really becoming a fully fleshed bank in a way. So that's where then even your competitors or the then competitors really saw us playing as a major player within the same space or industry. So in a nutshell, I think that's really how Lesotho Postbank then started to have a name. The presence was felt by the increase of our branches, by the number of people in terms of the staff complement. Then there was there was reach. We were getting more people. We probably started seeing over and above Bonkgono people coming in. So let's go back then to the mandate that you're saying, that we look at the unbanked and the underbanked, but financially viable or economically viable. And with in that space, we would want you at the time to be our customer. You were the target market. Hopola re tloha mane mo Basotho ba neng ba beha ditjhelete tsa bona ka tlasa dikobo kapa materaseng. So we had to go there, looking at the triple effect in re bua ka yona hore ba ne ba tla tshaba because they didn't have access to banka ona nako e neng e tshajwa. You would go there, so now what are you going to say?
Also, the way you dress, how you banking, your Sunday best, you know. Yeah.
So somehow it had an element of stereotype. So this is where then Lesotho Postbank came and say, you know what, everyone is welcome. And the customers are, of course, Lesotho, but Mosotho is every person who lives in this country. As long as you're looking for a bank to call home, then Lesotho Postbank is a place to go. So in a really space in say, and that is the mandate all along. As we go along, that it later diversified.
Sure.
So it is from that time moretlang re se rena le di products, and until now tlokomela se rena le bokgetsi, which is the mobile wallet ya rona. Re se rena le many other branches almost in every country, in every district in this country. Rena le tsona. Check out the ATM tsa rona. So we have the merchants, ka baka la kgetsi rena le yona. So really things have expanded. We have shown growth. We have been intentional to grow the brand Lesotho Postbank to the level where it is today.
To the level that it is today. And talking about that, one of the bank's core values is innovation and creativity, right?
That's
and
right.
And creativity, as you can see from Khezi to the different segments within the bank, whether it's the retail banking or the business banking aspect, that there has been really growth. So how has all these things shaped the future of the bank to where it is today in terms of now launching this exciting product that we're going to talk about?
The issue of innovation, we can also look at it from the perspective of the mandate that we have. Remember, our mandate speaks to us serving the unbanked and the unbanked, commercially viable population in rural and urban. And we said we want to do this in a sustainable manner. So for that to happen, it means the value, as you asked, innovation needed to play in. So what does it mean to be innovative? Maybe let's also add the customer service first, which is one of our key values. So the customer first says, treat the customer or serve the customer in a manner that you would want to be served. So it speaks to understanding our customers, their needs, their desires, and what they want. So when that is then in that basket, we are able to find ways innovatively to serve there. This is where then we realized, look, we cannot be banka ya bonkgono le bontate moholo forever. We have a generation that is eager to get things happen, or that is probably more international than just local. So what did we do? Then you would have the product range coming in. What the mobile wallet is editing. Lesotho Postbank has got the mobile wallet. We then have our internet banking. We have our mobile banking. When you look at within the same space, how do we now have our different units within the sales cluster? Sales cluster means the guys that go out, the accelerators. They put their foot on the pedal and they make sure that money comes in. So the income or the revenue generating streams within the bank. We talk about your digital channel. You would have your credit department. We have Agric under the business banking, and you have our retail. Then we also have a space that we call wholesale banking. It's a unit that looks after our corporates. So generally, we had to play like that, making sure that we are going out there and serving each different customer that we want at Lesotho Postbank, those that we are looking for and those that we have, looking at the needs that they have and where the bank is going. So we are saying, we give them convenience, right? Because we said we are affordable and we are accessible And it is anytime.
Talking about affordable, accessible, anytime, Lesotho Postbank has launched, like I mentioned earlier on, its new debit card. So we're going to take a quick break to show you what this new innovation brings. And then after the break, we'll talk about everything Lesotho Postbank debit card. The tagline, as I mentioned, is affordable, accessible, anytime. Be back in a short bit.
Mohia Havane Kia Dumedis. Kalele Lesotho Postbank Hamoto Hotis is a Visa Debit Card, Ubebo Faza Bupilo Baha. Okasabedisa Visa Debit Card ya hao mabenkeleng ohle lefatshe ka bophara kana go tsohle. Khana le mefuta e me. Black card, gold card, retail card, le student card. Hlokomela. Sefahlehong sa karete ya hao ho na le dinomoro tse 16 ke card number ya hao. Le dinomoro tse hlahang ka morao ho karete ya hao tse tharo ke CVV number ya hao. Dinomoro tse ke lekunutu la hao ka mehla. Boloka nomoro ya hao ya lekunutu ha o sebedisa karete ya hao jwalo ka ha o ntse o tlwaetse di-ATM-ong. Sebedisa Visa Debit Card ya hao ka tlhokomelo ka nako tsohle.
Welcome back to the second half of this episode, proudly sponsored by Lesotho Postbank. And we are talking everything Lesotho Postbank new debit card. So, Mebogang, for people who may not understand what the difference is with the Visa debit card versus the old cards that they have, what is the difference?
So, with a new debit card, the Lesotho Postbank debit card, when we look at the older one, we had what you call the closed loop. Mm-hmm. So the closed loop would mean Lesotho Postbank debit card would only work at its ATMs.
Okay.
Or you can only probably use it to withdraw money and nothing else more. But with this one, the channels are now opened. You can use the Lesotho Postbank card at different ATMs. So you know who our competitors are.
Sure.
If you wanted to go into a store and you do your purchases, conveniently so, you now can tap or you can swipe, as we say it, at different point of sale devices, wherever you are. So now this one says, we as Lesotho Postbank are now growing bigger. We are no longer just looking us within us in the space, but we are expanding. Anyone in South Africa now, you don't have any reason not to have your Lesotho Postbank card and swipe it confidently, whether you are anywhere in the world. I mean, it's Visa, so it gives you no restrictions.
Absolutely.
What is exciting about this point? It's that we are a local bank, and majorly the only Basotho bank in this country that has reached this particular milestone, and so is a local bank looking internationally or globally. How about that?
How about that indeed?
Yes.
And I think for me, it speaks to the affordable, accessible, anytime, right?
Definitely.
So accessibility is also now another factor that comes up to say, wow, I can be in New York City, I can be in Thailand, I can, for those of you who, for those of us who love to travel, you know. So with the Lesotho Postbank card, debit card specifically, Visa debit card,
yes,
I can literally swipe, tap, and pay for my transactions conveniently.
Exciting times.
Exciting times. So for the customer experience, since the card has come into the market, right, what has been the customer experience or the feedback from your customers and prospective customers?
Thank you so much, Lesotho Postbank family, for really going all out and being so excited about the achievement. People are excited. You should have seen on Facebook or any other social media platforms how remember when we did this, then we had to pilot.
Absolutely, yes.
And they didn't take it kindly because they felt we were taking longer to get to them, to launch and to get everybody to have the cards. So that was the confidence that we saw from our customers, which then said, speed up the process, get things happening. So this is why we are here to say, look, you can now come. We have different branches across the country. So what we are saying to you as a customer, we say, come to the branch, Okay. We had stopped issuing our debit cards for quite a long time because we knew what was coming. So now that it is here, we want them to walk into the branches and tell us, now I've come to collect the card. And we have different classes of cards, of course, depending on the affordability or on the profiles of different customers. So there are those that will get it immediately. There are those that might just have to wait for a personalized card for a few days. But that is to say, we cater for customers in their classes or in the different segmentation. Thank you. In different segmentations that we have. But it is exciting. Everybody wants to have a Lesotho Postbank. This is the time maybe to now appeal to those that might have left a long time ago thinking, actually, I love Lesotho Postbank, but I'm not getting the convenience. I'm not getting the bophelo bo bonolo, as we would say. We are ready for you. We want you to come back home and get your Visa Debit Card, ya Lesotho Postbank, so that o ka nolofallwa ke bophelo and do life as you would want it.
Do life as you want it.
Yeah.
The one thing that keeps coming to my mind is security, right? So we are in the digital era. We are swiping, we are tapping, and all of those things. And with the Visa Debit Card, security also becomes a big factor. So from a security perspective, what are some of the features the new Visa Debit Card from Lesotho Postbank comes with?
Okay, so maybe it is also important for us to emphasize the need for, remember we told you that the financial literacy, it's one of the factors that we really stronger in. So we have different types of, probably say, our videos. We have educational materials that we send out to make sure that we empower our customers, that we tell you as a customer how to handle your cards or anything that pertains to you doing your banking. So part of it would be how your card, it's your personal property, so you look after it. We tell them the card, like any other card, does have the number. So these numbers are not just for anyone. You keep it safe. You do not share your PIN code with anyone. It is your personal thing. So we continue to educate our customers along those lines and how to probably use their card in a secured manner. And I think that education is probably more than enough to give them confidence and to guide them and to inform them on how to do banking.
And when you talk about the education aspect, as somebody who's very passionate about financial education, but specifically digital financial literacy, right, is one of the things that we do not give away is the CVV at the back of the card.
That's right.
Particularly for people who are online shoppers. So sike wa fana ka nomoro ya hao ka CVV, lay the number in front like you rightly mentioned, because those are basically account number how account details how. So do not do that, right? And lastly, for people the clients who left Lesotho Postbank because they felt the needs were not being met, for people who are thinking of switching to Lesotho Postbank, right? How do they go about that? You touched on it a bit earlier on, but what's the call to action? There's somebody watching this episode. Or okay, fine, get excited. I'm happy about the new Visa Debit Card from Lesotho Postbank. How then do I go about that?
So this question reminds me of SABC program called Khumbule Ekhaya.
Wow. What an example.
So maybe this is the moment then to call them back home and say, all things are sorted. We have leveled the playground for you. The platform, it's ready. We are ready to receive you. Really, all they have to do is to come. How? Probably they come and open new accounts. And those that still had accounts but they were not active, come, we will activate that account. We need you. And for those that did not know about us, we are here as Lesotho Postbank, and we are ready to serve you. So our branches are everywhere. They just have to walk into a branch in the convenient one, the nearer branch to where they are. They just have to walk in and get a service. We would gladly receive you. Remember, we said it's a customer first that we pride ourselves with. So we have ladies and gentlemen, Lesotho Postbank, that are going to welcome you. So it doesn't matter their reasons anymore for leaving, but it matters now that they come and how we move forward with them.
It matters now that you come because they're moving forward with you in a very affordable, accessible, anytime, anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And then any final remarks in closing this episode? So there's a trailblazer, particularly the young professionals who's watching this episode and thinking, oh, wow, Lesotho Postbank is moving. Hi, do. Hi, do. So what do we say to them as parting remarks from you as Mebokang from Lesotho Postbank, which is also today's podcast episode sponsor?
So, to young professionals, I think, having been in that space myself, do not wait until you are now working for 10 years to understand the value of money. Treat your money right from the first day or the first paycheck that you get, your salary or your income. We are saying to you, we have all elements that you need, from the financial literacy to you creating and building your wealth. So come in and we are going to take you through all the steps so that you become the best you can and you see your money serve you the best way possible. Now, for those people that have been wondering whether Lesotho Postbank is a going concern, whether there is a future, I think majorly, it is now 20 years of Lesotho Postbank in existence. What more do you want? What other testimony, what evidence would you want to receive or see other than this, that Lesotho Postbank is here to stay? This is just another milestone that we are reaching, but greater are the things that we are going to achieve together. So come, partner with us. Come, let's collaborate. Do you understand? How buale batho wherever you are, orihonale Lesotho Postbank. They got to understand there is no any other bank in this country other than this. At least you have mana mokorotlo ho yona. At least it la bua puo ya hao ka tsela eo o tla utlwisisa ka yona. I would have done this totally in Sesotho, but it is a platform that is very diverse. So we are catering for everyone else.
Inclusion. Guys, you've been listening to another episode on My Money Adventures podcast, where we're talking how you can unlock the power in your pocket with the new debit card from Lesotho Postbank. And when we say convenience at its best, this is what we're talking about. Remember that this show is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So do head over if you're listening on the podcast version and leave us a review and let us know what you think about today's episode. Of course, as is tradition, I will plug all the details regarding Lesotho Postbank's website, contact details, and any other additional information in the show notes below so that you don't have to struggle. And of course, like I always say, leave a comment and let us know. Are you a client at Lesotho Postbank? Do you have your new Visa Debit Card from Lesotho Postbank? And if you don't, tell us when and where you're going to get it. Again, a big shout out to my creative team behind the camera, Matsoso Photography and Bisa Street Inc. on the audio, and of course to my creative team at TKO Financial Wellness. Like I mentioned, this episode was proudly sponsored by Lesotho Postbank. Do follow us on all social media platforms, My Money Adventures Podcast, and of course me, Tukiso TK Ntebe, on all your social media platforms. Until the next video, remember that money is an adventure. Let's enjoy the ride. And if you're going to enjoy the ride, do so with Lesotho Postbank. See you in the next episode. Signing out. Cheers.